Hey Facebook land, this is Allison, and I'm jumping in here to finally do a video that I promised I would do several weeks ago about my journey through this amazing pregnancy so far. Hard, but amazing. And I receive a lot of questions about this each week and often, and so I wanted to try to address all of this kind of in one as I'm past the halfway mark now through this pregnancy, and just kind of talk to you about some of those things in hopes that number one, you can relate, number two, that it can make you feel like you're not alone, just all of those things. I went to so many people's videos when I was trying to figure out, like, is this normal? Am I crazy? Stuff like that. And so anyways, this is my journey. This is what has happened with me. Hey, Kayla. But I hope this is helpful to you. So to start off, I found out that I was pregnant January the 10th, 2 days before my 31st birthday. And it makes me want to cry now, even just thinking about it, because I didn't believe it. At first the lines were so incredibly faint, and I took 3 tests in a row, and many of you know I had 2 miscarriages in 2017, and that was extremely hard for Kane and myself, and after many years, 2 previous marriages of never getting pregnant, I felt like I'm never gonna have a baby. And that's just me being honest with you. I had to kind of come to terms with, there might be adoption, and I might not ever be able to have my own child. And it was a lot of talk between me and the Lord, often, and a lot of tears and a lot of emotions, a lot of confusion. I am the baby of 6 children, and I tell you that because all my brothers and sisters have multiple children, and I just always knew I wanted to have my own kids too. And so to be honest, to see them having all these children and then me not able to do that, it was difficult, and it made me feel inadequate, and it made me feel like, what's wrong with me? And just so many emotions and feelings around all of that. So when I got that positive test again, I didn't really believe it at first. I took the 3. I waited for Kane to get home from work, and I had him look at them as well, and he was like, well, it's faint, So the next morning, I took a digital one, and it read pregnant, and I thought, okay, well, I guess this is the real deal. And so with that came a ton of excitement and a lot of joy, but also came a ton of fear, and a ton of anxiety around not knowing, is this gonna last? Can I get my hopes up? Can I really feel excited? Can I know that this is going to turn out the way that I hope that it turns out? But I didn't know, and I told myself that day that the Lord had carried me through so much, so incredibly much, and He wasn't about to leave me now. There had been so many more seasons that He had just picked me up and walked me through, and so He was going to be there in this one. And then if it was His will, then this baby was going to come. But if not, then He knew better than me. And I'm telling you, that has given me so much peace throughout this. And I hope that you take that with you. Maybe you're not pregnant right now or whatever, but take that with you in whatever's going on in your own life. So January 10th, found out. January the 12th, if y'all remember, we had a ton of snow here, okay? And there was ice on the roads and all of that. It got pretty bad, and, it was like, get your milk and bread because you're going to be in the house for a few days. And I taught Corin more that morning on January the 12th at 5:30 with my ladies, and I was so apprehensive though, what do I do? Do I do this exercise? Do I not do this? And of course I didn't want anybody to know at that point in time, and so I was real skittish about even how I was doing stuff in class, and I was bringing everything back down to a level 1, when usually my ladies know, like, I'm trying to amp them up by going level 2 and 3. So that happened, and I had my first doctor's appointment that day, but the roads were terrible. Kane had gone to work, so my dad had to drive me up to Columbia, and we had our first doctor's appointment, and got all my levels checked that day, and knew that I was pregnant, but didn't know at that point where things really were lying. In the past, my HCG levels struggled tremendously, and my progesterone, and so I was just like waiting on pins and needles to get those levels back, like to know, is this gonna progress? Like, where is this going? Can I get my hopes up, Lord? And so that was on a Friday, January 12th, and it really was. It just the hope was the greatest birthday gift like I could have ever gotten. So I know so many of you have been there too. And I just want to validate that for you, no matter what turned out in your situation. But so from there, I waited till next week. I think it was Monday or Tuesday, and they called me back, and my levels were like, had skyrocketed off the charts, almost to the point of where, we even thought I might be having twins. And I was like, hold the door. Oh no, what have I been praying for? But of course it didn't turn out that way. But because I was high risk, the 2 miscarriages, and all of that, they continued to monitor me very close in the weeks to come. To now, I've had like 6 ultrasounds, if not more, probably more, just because of so many different factors. And so after that, we continued to go back it was like every week or every 2 weeks through the end of February. They found that I had a small hemorrhage, and, again, because of things that had happened in the past and all of that, that made me so anxious. I had so much anxiety around that. Like, did I cause this, And I spoke to so many different ladies, even ones in my family who had the same thing. And they validated to me, like, this is very normal. And my doctor told me that over and over. This is very normal, Allison. So that made me feel some better, but it was still very much in the back of my mind, hoping that it would just go away on its own. And it ended up doing that. I want to also kind of tell you throughout this, I've been seeing both an OBGYN, and I've seen Dr. Rawdon out of Florence, Alabama. I know that many of you that have been with me and have followed through mine and Kane's journey, you know that we saw Dr. Rawdon with his diagnosis of melanoma, and he has helped us tremendously, just holistically and naturally fight cancer. And so he just works across the board, though, and his knowledge is so vast. So back in the fall, in October, I went to him for the first time in regards to fertility, and I just, laid it out there. This is what has happened, and he started me on several different things. If you want to private message me about those, I'll talk to you about those and about going to see him. I think it helped, I really do think it helped, and that's just me being very honest with you. My body fat percentage was very low going into this pregnancy. I love to exercise. I like to eat well. I eat a lot of junk though too. And so I needed to boost my healthy fats, and I needed to boost several things within my own body to get my body at a better place. And I did that. So he helped tremendously there. But so February came, more ultrasounds came, and every time we would go, I'm just telling you, and I know so many, again, of you can relate with this, you just hold your breath, you hold your breath, waiting to find out either, that you get to hear the heartbeat, or that you get to see something on the screen. And it's been this crazy, amazing, beautiful journey. that I'm so, so grateful for. And I can see how God has used it to help me be able to talk to so many of you and understand so many of you. But there's several things here I kind of wanted to talk about that I put on my list. So I had multiple ultrasounds. I continued to exercise, okay? So after the beginning, like of feeling like, oh no, I'm afraid I'm going to mess something up, the Lord said to me, you know, in my talking with him, Allison, you were being so active and doing your programs and all of that when you got pregnant. For you to just stop and do nothing now is not going to be good for you. And for about 2 weeks, I really like stopped doing things and just kind of babied through some stuff. And I didn't feel good. I didn't feel good about me. I didn't feel good like mentally. Exercise is truly therapy for me. And so I got back into doing my regular workouts, and that is what is recommended. You know, like you be doing what you were doing before you were pregnant. Don't try to introduce anything way overly too new. So I continued with that, and that helped me feel so much better mentally. Let's see what else. In February, I was teaching Core and More, which is my in-person class here in Hohenwald with so many beautiful, wonderful, strong ladies. But I had to make the conscious decision at that time that that wasn't the best for me and the baby, and, you know, for Kane and for our family. The Core is a very complex system, and when you are pregnant, there are a lot of things that I'm learning and have learned through my pre and postnatal certification that you don't want to cause any further damage or cause things to be worse than what they have to be. And so it was a hard decision, like to say, I'm not going to teach this anymore. I struggled with it big time. But it just came down to, this is what's going to be best for us and for the baby. And so that's what I chose to do. And so mid-February, I told them, you know, that I didn't tell them why, but I just said, you know, I can't do this anymore. I've had some things come up. But that was reiterated when right after that, I decided to sign up for the pre and postnatal coaching certification. And so I have been doing that now since it's been like March when I really picked it up, and I am getting certified to be able to work with pregnant women, those who are wanting to get pregnant, postpartum women, specifically around your health, your fitness, your nutrition, all of that, keying in and zoning in on how to best serve you in that time of life. And it's helped me tremendously. I told my mom a couple weeks ago, I said, if I signed up for this for no other reason than just to mentally prepare myself and my own body, then it was worth it. But God is proving over and over again right now that he's already using it to help so many other women, and I'm very grateful for that. So with that certification, I'll be bringing that in my programs in the future. It's broadened my expertise tremendously, and I'm very excited and super thankful for that. As far as the gender reveal, so, you know, that was the first time that we introduced it to all of Facebook land and everything. But on April 10th, Kane's mom, Crystal, and my mom, Jan, went with us to the doctor, and we closed our eyes, and so we didn't know what we were having, and they were the first ones to find out that we were having little Huxley. It's still so crazy to say. I mean, like, that's just being honest to you. Like, such a dream for so long, and such a desire of my heart. And so when we went in there that day, we didn't find out, and they did. So they had to set up the gender reveal. And a lot of my family thought that it was going to be a girl. They were just sold on the fact that this is going to be a girl, which we know now that it wasn't. And Kanan, my intuition all along was that it was going to be a boy, that it wasn't a girl. So if you saw my video of how excited I was, it was just like that affirmation of a mother's intuition, you know. Let's see what else. Okay, so let's talk about what I'm currently doing now, and what kind of I've been through. Sorry you're hearing the mowing in the background. But I have been so sick. I was sick week 4 through week 18, pretty bad. I mean, like, not morning sickness, all day sickness. That was another reason why with Core and More I had to decide to just kind of put it on the back burner, because I was so sick. And it was terrible, you know, like, it was a sickness I can't put words to or say, you know, it was like this, that, or the other. And those of you that have experienced this, I feel you now. I understand. I threw up a total of, I don't know, 5 or 10 times. I'm not a throw up person at all, so that was very new to me. And it was just constant, like, though, just, you know, nothing sounded good to eat. And those foods that I ate then in the beginning, now that I'm past all of that, I don't want those anymore. So maybe that's still you. I know I've had a few women tell me that stuff that they tried during their pregnancy, during that time, like, to this day, like, decades later, their children are gone. They're like, I still can't eat that. So yeah, that might be you. That might be you too. Okay, as far as workouts and all of that, I have to give you some insight on what's been going on with me. I haven't talked about this yet, but during the time a couple weeks ago when we thought I was having kidney stones. I had kidney stones several years ago and 10 years ago, and I changed a lot of things to help myself prevent those, and I've done great with that. So when they were telling me a few weeks ago that I was trying to pass this kidney stone, they could not do a CT scan to be able to see that for sure because of the baby. They don't want to put any type of risk of radiation to the baby. So they were able to do all these ultrasounds and speculate that that might be what it was, but not for sure that that's truly what it was, okay? So I went to the emergency room, ended up in the hospital, debilitating pain, like debilitating pain. And it was like kidney stone pain, okay? So, sorry. Give me 1 second. This is live. This is totally live. What can you do? So, totally debilitating pain. And it was like kidney stone pain, okay? But it was right here to the left of my pubic bone and my pelvic area. It was terrible. And I thought, well, they're saying that's probably what it is, so that's what it is. I had just been studying, though, in my pre and postnatal certification, something called symphysis pubic dysfunction. And everything that was saying was how I was feeling. So I called our local physical therapist, and I was like, I think I have this, okay? I think this is not a kidney stone. And she called me in and said, let me screen you for this. And so she did. And now we know I have what SPD, symphysis pubic dysfunction. And in short, what that is when you are pregnant, your body produces a whole lot more of what's called relaxin, okay? It relaxes our ligaments, our joints, and all of that. It has to happen for the baby to be able to grow. But with some women, when we're doing movements or just living day-to-day life, it doesn't even have to be an exercise, our pubic symphysis area will separate more than what it needs to. And with that becomes excruciating pain. For some, it's mild, and for some, it is totally extreme. Mine was extreme. And so that's what now we know was going on. Praise the Lord, it was nothing else. And I have scaled back to just walking for the past, I just started walking at the end of last week. And I am doing that now until I start physical therapy at the end of this week. So I'm very hopeful that that is going to help. Again, this is something that I never planned for. I never expected to deal with SPD and not being able to continue to do my workouts full force like I was. But God is teaching me so much through this. And it's something, again, I'm going to be able to bring to help so many of you. So I'm thankful for that, and I look forward to getting back to my workouts when I can, in God's timing and in His healing. I'm feeling so much better now, not having any pain at all, but during that time, it was terrible. If you've dealt with that below, SPD, please put that in the comments. Tell me, like, your take on that, what you did. ISIS helped tremendously, keeping my legs together, sleeping with a pillow in between my legs, no like overly squatting or anything like that. And all of those things are completely safe in pregnancy if you've been doing them. But again, for some women, our symphysis pubic area just wants to spread more than others. So that has not been fun, but it has been a great learning experience. Let's see what else. Okay, as far as my diet throughout this whole thing, in the beginning, it was just kind of like, what can I get down? And so that was all kinds of different things. I hate macaroni and cheese now because I ate that several times back then, but now it grosses me out. So that, ginger ale, Sprite, crackers, don't want no part of that, okay? Because I did so much of that then. Even peppermints, I tried that, and now those gross me out because it was during that really, really sick time. I bet you have those foods too that you dealt with, you know, that still gross you out now. But I'm back to eating. I tried to eat plant-based. It's what makes me feel best, okay? But if I need a burger, if I feel like my body needs that, or if I feel like I need cheese or ice cream or dairy of some sort, then I allow myself to have that. I have not had any restrictions. I don't do restrictions. I took on intuitive eating year and a half or so ago, and I teach that in all of my programs now. And I'm so grateful. Like, I'm so grateful for that the Lord introduced that into my life way before this pregnancy, because it's released my mind from thinking, whereas used to, I mean, I did my Fitness Pal, and I counted macros, and all of that. And to try to do that now being pregnant, oh my word, I just can't even imagine the stress of that, because we have so much on us already as women, telling us what we need to do and how we need to look and blah, 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 you know. So intuitive eating, if you don't know anything about that, look it up, get into that. There's so much freedom there. Let's see what else. Okay, Huxley's name. I've gotten asked a lot about it, where I got that, where that came from. So can't even remember the year, probably like 2011 or so, I was in East Tennessee, and that was a very hard, difficult season of my life. I was in my first marriage, and undergoing so many forms of abuse and manipulation and lies and all of that. And I was driving one day, and it was one of those days that was just rough. And I looked up, and on the street sign was Huxley, but it was spelled Huxley. And wasn't trying to have a baby at that time, nothing like that. But I thought, that name, like, if I ever have a son, that's going to be his name. And so I've stuck with that, and Kane loved it, and then we added his name, of course, to it. So Huxley Kane Crow. And we just grow more in love with him every single day. Let's see, what else? I've been asked, a lot of people think that apparently I'm going to do this natural. I don't know about that. And that's just me being completely honest with you. I don't feel like I need to be a hero for anybody. And I hope that you don't feel like that either, in your own journey, that you have to be a hero or prove anything to anybody through your own experience. One of the best pieces of advice my mom gave me was like, during that time, if there's a way that you can be present and enjoy it, then I encourage you to do that. So I'm still thinking on that one. Not sure totally about that yet. But it's completely a decision that each woman has to make. And also, you don't know what's going to happen when you go in there. Like, we don't have control over that. And I might think right now that something's going to happen, and it's not going to happen. There's going to be something totally different that happens. I might end up with a C-section or whatever else. So I'm trying to really prepare my mind for all of that. And in doing that, it's taking me to places to be able to better help all of you too, and I'm grateful for that as well. So what else? Ask me any questions below that you want to. Maybe you've already asked several things and I've missed them because I've just been talking, because I knew that this was going to be long, and I'm sorry. One thing I've been told, and I'm just going to address this just because I'm going to. And being in fitness and what I do and all of that, I've been told several times, you haven't gained enough weight. You hardly look pregnant, blah, blah, blah. Don't say those things to people, okay? Just don't. Every single woman is different. And how our bodies are going to respond to pregnancy are different. And each pregnancy is going to be different. That's the thing. So this is my very first one. If we get to have more children, Lord willing, then I'm sure they will be different than this one, and my body will respond differently. But that's something that is very sensitive to so many women, not just me. And so going forward, I would encourage you, just be encouraging. Just be encouraging. A woman doesn't need your comments about what her body looks like or doesn't look like or what it's doing or what it's not doing. She is already, in her mind, going through so much that she doesn't need your added input when it comes to that. So that's just my little tidbit for today about that. Be encouraging to her journey and her walk. You don't know. You never know what it took for her to get to that point, to be able to have that baby or to get pregnant. So just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind. I guess that's about it. Please, again, I'll answer questions below if you want to ask about anything. I'm just so grateful. I'm so, so, so grateful. And I would be lying to you if I said right now that I don't still have anxiety around this. I'm 21 weeks and one day today. And every next week that comes, it's thank you, Lord. Thank you. Thank you for this gift. Thank you for this promise. Thank you for knowing the desires of my heart and seeing them through. And I ask for your continued prayers. And I mean that, please be praying for Huxley and for me and for Kane and for this journey. And if there's anything that I can pray for you about, I will do it. Just send it my way, and I'll be so happy to do it. I want to finish up by telling some exciting news. I will have a summer program. This is going to be the last program that I will do, big group program for the year. Huxley will be here in September, and so I need to be able to get ready for all of that. And so my Summer F.I.R.E program, Summer F.I.R.E will start June 4th. It will be 8 weeks. It'll wrap up July 27th. I am very excited about it because I'm going to be bringing all of this from my certification to you women, okay? Whether you're prenatal, postnatal, had a child 10 years ago, want to get pregnant, don't care if you ever get pregnant, it's going to work for you. And a lot of it is going to be just coaching techniques and skills that if you implement in your life, you're going to be changed. You're going to be changed. And I'm already praying about it. And I know that the Lord is going to do great things through that. I'm going to release more information on that soon, but I just wanted you to know that that's what is in the works and will be out there for this summer. But thank you for following along. Thank you for supporting me in this journey. God is good. And no matter the season of life that you are currently in, I truly pray that you know that He only wants the best for you. And sometimes that's going to come wrapped in a lot of trials and a lot of hardship and a lot of but He can bring beauty through anything. He can restore, and He loves you.